In this video, we're going to take a quick look at flightPATH and also introduce you to a sample of how it works. flightPATH in the Edge ADC is a cool little engine that lets you control how traffic flows through it to your apps and also back. Whether you're redirecting users, tweaking headers, or blocking stuff you don't want, flightPATH makes it super easy. So flightPATH is actually located within the library menu. So in the library section here, you will see flightPATH. And once we click upon it, you will see details of how it's constructed. So we give a number of flightPATH rules to you pre-built, but you can actually create your own. It's very easy to do, and you just need a little bit of logical sense to write your own flightPATH rules. Each flightPATH consists of a condition, an evaluation if required, which consists of variables that you may define or you may wish to define, and actions. Each of the conditions is essentially an AND rule, so this and the next, etc., that form the condition, and the same is applicable to the action. When you define multiple flightPATH rules and apply them to a VIP, or a virtual service, they operate on an OR basis. So let's have a quick look to see how a flightPATH rule is constructed. So in our example here, which I'll just bring up on the screen, you'll see that a request enters the ADC via virtual IP 10.0.0.143. The virtual IP and the virtual service is a layer 7 HTTPS request. There is a single web server that is attached to this virtual service. There is also a second virtual IP, 144, and this virtual IP serves two web servers that are being load balanced. What we need to do is to construct a flightPATH rule that does the following. If condition path does contain the word internal, then the action should be use server and the data provided is 10.0.0.144. Now let's go back to the flightPATH section. Now here we need to say add new, and once we say that, we get a new name here, and we'll say this is our video demo. And you can also provide a description if you wish. Once you apply it to a VIP, then you will see this applied to VS section populated with the IP. So let's say update, and we now can see that there are no conditions and no actions for this flightPATH rule. So let's add one. So we say add new, and we see a blank line below. And here you can add your first condition, and that may be a form content, it could be geolocation, so by country, it could be a host name that you're looking for and looking in, language, method, client IP, etc. There are also other things here like query, query string, cookie, request cookie, header and version content, and also the same for requests and responses. So now, let's select path. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We say here does, and here we say contains, but we have a number of other options available to you within this section. So contains, and we're looking for the word internal. Now, this is our primary condition that we want to do. If we wanted to define another condition, we could, but we're not going to on this occasion. So here we'll say we want to add an action. So when you say add action, you click here and you can select what the action is. You could specify authentication if you want to do pre-authentication, and in the target field specify the authentication rule, which directs the user to the authentication server. You can also add content to the request cookie, header, request header, response cookie, response header, and so on. You can even change the content within the body, either all the content, so every occurrence, say, of the word demo, or you can change just the first or the last occurrence. You can drop a connection, you can send an email, you can log an event, redirect, and also remove content or replace content from headers and cookies. Now, what we want to do is use server. We also have used secure server. So if it was SSL traffic that we were sending on, you would use secure server. But we'll say use server here. And here in the target, we want 10.0.0.144. And we say update. And now what we've done is that we've satisfied the construction of the flight path requirement. If we go back to IP services, we can see here that we've got the primary service 143 with an attached subservice of 143 at port 80. Now, in this port 80, what we want to do is we want to add the force HTTPS rule, which we've already done. But in the 443 rule, we want to add our new flight path rule. So we scroll down to the bottom here and we see video demo. And all we do is we just drag it across and insert it. And now that flight path, that virtual service has this flight path rule within it. So if the request comes into port 80 as a HTTP connection, it's going to be redirected to port 443 on the same virtual IP. And then once it comes here, it's going to hit this flight path rule, which will then tell it either to go to this server here if there's no word called internal, or if there is one, then to go to 10.144, which has these two servers. Now, it may seem that flight path is quite complicated, but actually it's not. It's very easy to do because there's absolutely no coding, as you can see. The only real thing that you've got to know is how headers and footers, etc., behave in layer 7. And how they're constructed. So, for example, what do I mean by that? Here in condition, if we had, if this was, let's say, request header, then the match field comes into play, and the match field has a number of options within it. So you have to know what these options are and what they do. The other thing that you may want to do is to use regular expressions. So you may want to here check using regular expression, in which case you will need to know how regular expressions work and how to build them. Now, the ability to do that means that you can do very powerful things. So here, for example, is there are 4 rules actually here for protection of the servers against log4j. So when log4j was released into the wild, we came up with these 4 flight path rules for our customers within a couple of hours. And here we see the example of protecting against the user agent field. So request header user agent does match regex and then this value for the regular expression, which looks for the JNID value inside the header. And if it is detected, then we drop the connection. So you can do very powerful things. Also things like block every country except the UK. So you can block entire sections. You can send users to authentication if you wish, and so on and so forth. So I think you'll find actually that if you're using layer 7, then flightPath can do a great deal of things for you to help protect your systems, your servers, etc., and direct users appropriately. So this ends the video on flightPath. Thank you very much.